The silent arrival. On a serene Tuesday morning, Earth was abruptly shaken from its tranquility. A colossal alien ship emerged seemingly out of nowhere, tearing through the sky above the Atlantic Ocean. It was no ordinary spacecraft. Its immense size dwarfed anything Earth's scientists could have imagined. Stretching over 2 miles long, its gleaming, silvery surface reflected the sun's rays, creating an almost blinding spectacle in the heavens. The vessel's sudden appearance sent shockwaves across the globe. Military satellites, designed to detect potential threats, failed to notice its approach until it was too late. Within minutes, the world's largest cities were gripped by panic as the enigmatic object hovered silently in the atmosphere. In Geneva, at the United Earth Defense Council's underground headquarters, alarms blared and screens flashed red. Commander Evelyn Harper stood at the center of the chaos, her steely green eyes fixed on the main display. She was a seasoned veteran of countless military campaigns, her sharp features framed by strands of gray streaking through her once jet-black hair. At 53, she carried the weight of decades of strategic warfare experience, but nothing could have prepared her for this. "Status report," she barked, her voice cutting through the cacophony of panicked chatter. "Commander," the vessel appeared out of nowhere, said Lieutenant Nathan Cho, his fingers dancing nervously over the holographic interface. "No prior detection. It's technology. It's beyond anything we've ever seen." Evelyn's jaw tightened as she absorbed the words. "Have they made contact?" "Yes, ma'am," Nathan replied, his voice trembling. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies, and it's in perfect English." The room fell silent, every eye turning to the commander. Evelyn straightened her posture, her presence commanding respect and calm. "Put it through. Let's see what we're dealing with." The large central screen flickered, replacing the data readouts with an image of the ship's interior. A figure appeared, tall, humanoid in shape but distinctly alien. Its skin was a pale shade of violet, smooth and unblemished, with shimmering, pupil-less eyes that seemed to peer directly into one's soul. Dressed in intricately designed robes that glowed faintly, the being exuded an aura of authority and elegance. "People of Earth," the alien spoke, its voice resonating with an unnerving calmness, carrying a strange musical quality. "I am Velra, an envoy of the Galactic Union. Your species has reached a critical juncture in its development. The Union has observed you for centuries, studying your progress. It is time for us to intervene." The room erupted in whispers and gasps, but Evelyn's sharp glare silenced them immediately. She leaned forward, her voice steady and direct. "Intervene how?" Velra's alien visage shifted, its expression unreadable. "Your species has displayed remarkable potential. However, you are volatile, unpredictable, and most importantly, dangerous. Your technology is primitive, but your capacity for destruction grows with alarming speed. To preserve galactic stability, the Union has decided to extend its protection to you." Evelyn's eyes narrowed. "Protection? What does that entail?" The alien's tone grew colder. "Your civilization will be placed under the stewardship of the Union. Your technological advancements will be regulated, your exploration restricted, and your governance monitored. This is for your own good. Many civilizations have thrived under our guidance. You should feel honored." The implications of Velra's words sent a chill down Evelyn's spine. She had studied enough history to recognize the thinly veiled threat behind the envoy's offer. The Galactic Union wasn't offering help, it was demanding submission. "And if we refuse?" Evelyn asked, her voice cutting through the tension. Velra's gaze hardened. "Refusal is not an option. Should you attempt defiance, the consequences will be severe. You have 24 hours to comply." The screen went dark. For a moment, silence engulfed the command center. Then the room erupted into chaos, voices overlapping as officers and analysts debated their next move. Evelyn raised a hand, her commanding presence instantly restoring order. "Get me a secure line to the Global Leadership Council," she ordered. We need an emergency session. Now. As the call was patched through, Evelyn turned to Nathan. I want every satellite trained on that ship. Find out everything we can. Weak points, energy sources, you name it. I don't care if it looks invincible. There's always a way to crack armor. Nathan nodded, his earlier hesitation replaced by determination. Yes, Mom. Hours later, the Global Leadership Council convened via holographic projection. Leaders from every nation appeared, their faces reflecting a mix of fear, anger, and disbelief. Evelyn briefed them on the situation, laying out the Galactic Union's ultimatum. We have less than 24 hours to decide, she concluded. They claim this is for our benefit, but let's not kid ourselves. This is conquest, dressed up as charity. The room erupted into heated debate. Some leaders argued for compliance, believing resistance was futile against such advanced technology. Others, including Evelyn, vehemently opposed surrendering humanity's freedom. This isn't just about technology, Evelyn said firmly. This is about what it means to be human. Our independence, our right to determine our own future. We can't give that up. Prime Minister Asha Patil of India leaned forward, her voice resolute. Commander Harper is right. We've faced insurmountable odds before and prevailed. If we submit now, we're condemning ourselves to servitude for generations. But their technology, argued President Luis Ortega of Brazil. If they wanted, they could wipe us out in an instant. Maybe, Evelyn replied, her eyes blazing with determination. But we've underestimated ourselves before. Humanity's strength isn't just in its weapons. It's in its spirit. If we fight for something bigger than ourselves. As the hours ticked away, a decision was reached. When Velra reappeared on the screens, Evelyn delivered Earth's response. Envoy Velra, she began, her voice steady and unwavering. Earth has considered your offer. While we appreciate your concern, we must respectfully decline. We will not surrender our autonomy. If you truly wish for peace, we are willing to engage in dialogue as equals, but we will not be your subjects. Velra's expression darkened, his shimmering eyes narrowing. You are making a grave mistake. Your defiance will not be tolerated. The screen went dark again, and Evelyn turned to her officers. Alert all global defense systems. Prepare for the worst. As the first stars of the evening appeared in the sky, the world braced for the unknown. Humanity had made its choice. The silent arrival of the alien ship was only the beginning. The fight for Earth's future was about to begin. Humanity's dilemma. The world stood still in the hours following Earth's bold defiance of the Galactic Union's ultimatum. Across the globe, news networks reported on the alien envoy's arrival, the Union's demands, and humanity's decision to resist. Fear gripped cities as citizens watched the skies, expecting retaliation at any moment. Yet, for all the fear, a spark of defiance had ignited in humanity's collective heart, a determination to fight for their freedom, no matter the odds. In the United Earth Defense Council's underground headquarters, Commander Evelyn Harper wasted no time. The emergency meeting with global leaders had barely concluded when she summoned her top strategists and scientists. The room buzzed with urgency as holographic displays lit up, showing every detail Earth had managed to gather about the alien vessel. Here's what we know, Evelyn began, pacing at the front of the room. The Union's technology is far beyond ours. Their ship's energy readings indicate a power source we don't even have the theoretical framework to understand. But nothing is invincible. Our mission is to find their weakness. Dr. Elena Torres, a renowned astrophysicist and lead scientist of Earth's Advanced Research Division, stood. She adjusted her glasses, her face a mixture of excitement and worry. Commander, we've been analyzing their ship's energy output. While their technology is advanced, it's not flawless. There's a fluctuation in their power grid, a slight drop in energy every 30 seconds. It's almost imperceptible, but it's there. Evelyn stopped pacing. What causes it? We're not entirely sure, Elena admitted. It could be a recalibration mechanism or a limitation in their energy distribution system. Either way, it's a potential vulnerability. What about their defenses? Evelyn asked. Weapons? Shields? Colonel Marcus Rayner, the Defense Council's military strategist, spoke up. From what we've observed, their ship is armed with energy-based weapons, likely plasma or something similar. Their shields, however, are the real problem. They're designed to repel both physical and energy-based attacks. Standard Earth munitions won't even scratch them. Evelyn crossed her arms, her expression hardening. Then we don't use standard munitions. We think outside the box. What about electromagnetic pulses? Could we disrupt their systems? Dr. Torres nodded. It's possible, but it would require a massive EMP, larger than anything we've ever deployed. We'd also need to account for their ability to adapt. If their systems detect an EMP, they might be able to shield themselves against it. Evelyn's mind raced. She turned to Lieutenant Nathan Cho. Nathan, I want you to coordinate with every nation's intelligence agency. Pull any data we've ever gathered on alien technology. I don't care how classified it is. If we've ever encountered something remotely extraterrestrial, I want it on my desk. Yes, ma'am, Nathan replied, already typing furiously on his tablet. The global effort. As Earth's leaders prepared for the worst, its people rallied in an unprecedented display of unity. Factories that once produced cars were repurposed to manufacture drones and weapons. Engineers worked around the clock, designing new technologies in record time. Scientists collaborated across borders, sharing data and expertise. It was a level of cooperation the world had never seen before. In a secret facility deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Torres led a team of the world's brightest minds. The lab was a hive of activity, with researchers poring over alien artifacts that had been recovered in past decades, objects long dismissed as hoaxes or anomalies. Now those relics became humanity's best hope. One particular artifact, a small metallic orb, drew Elena's attention. It was covered in intricate, glowing patterns that shifted when exposed to different energy frequencies. This might be it, she muttered to herself, holding the orb carefully. If we can understand how this works, we might be able to replicate their energy systems. The psychological battle. While scientists and engineers worked to crack the Union's technological edge, the alien envoy Velra wasn't idle. From its position in orbit, the Union's vessel broadcasted a continuous message across all major media platforms. The alien's image appeared on television screens, smartphones, and even public billboards. People of Earth, Velra's voice echoed, calm yet menacing. Your leaders have made a dangerous choice. We offer you peace and prosperity, yet they choose war and destruction. Do not let their pride lead you to ruin. There is still time to reconsider. The broadcasts were designed to sow fear and division, but they had an unintended effect. Instead of fracturing humanity, they united it further. People began to see through the Union's facade, recognizing the manipulation for what it was. Social media platforms exploded with messages of defiance, hashtags like #EarthUnited and #HumanFreedom trending worldwide. One viral video showed a teenager in Mumbai holding a handwritten sign that read, "We may be primitive, but we are free." Preparing for retaliation. In Geneva, Evelyn reviewed the latest reports from her team. What's our timeline? She asked Colonel Rayner. 3 days, maybe less, he replied. They're holding back for now, probably to give us time to surrender. But when the deadline expires, they'll strike. Evelyn nodded. Then we need to strike first. If we can hit them before they fully mobilize, we might have a chance. What about casualties? Rayner asked grimly. A preemptive strike could provoke them to escalate. Evelyn's gaze hardened. If we wait, they'll destroy us. If we act now, we might survive. It's a risk we have to take. She turned to Dr. Torres. How's the EMP weapon coming along? Elena hesitated. It's unstable. We've managed to amplify the pulse, but it's still not strong enough to disable their entire ship. At best, we might knock out a few systems temporarily. That's all we need, Evelyn said. A window, just enough to exploit their vulnerability. A reckoning approaches. As the final hours of the Union's ultimatum ticked away, Earth's forces moved into position. Submarines armed with experimental torpedoes patrolled the oceans, stealth bombers took to the skies, and satellites aligned themselves for precision strikes. The world held its breath, waiting for the inevitable clash. In the underground command center, Evelyn stood before her team. "We didn't choose this fight," she said, her voice steady and resolute. "But we won't back down. Humanity has faced extinction before and survived. This is no different. They think we're primitive. They think we're weak. Let's show them how wrong they are." As cheers erupted around her, Evelyn's thoughts turned inward. The stakes had never been higher. Failure wasn't an option. The fate of humanity rested on her shoulders, and she would do whatever it took to protect it. The first strike. The countdown ended with the silence of Earth's collective breath held. As the alien vessel hovered ominously in low orbit, its smooth metallic hull seemed impervious to fear or defiance. But deep within the heart of Earth's underground command centers, the atmosphere was electric. Commander Evelyn Harper, flanked by her most trusted advisors, stood resolute as the time for Earth's response approached. "All units, report status," Evelyn commanded, her voice steady but sharp. Across the globe, military commanders and scientists confirmed their readiness. From the Arctic bases to desert bunkers, Earth's forces were primed for the unprecedented battle. High above the Atlantic, the alien ship remained motionless, an enigmatic behemoth that seemed to dare humanity to act. The silent offensive. Dr. Elena Torres entered the command room, her face flushed with urgency. "The EMP prototype is ready," she announced. "It's not perfect, but it's functional. The pulse will disrupt their systems for approximately 3 minutes, if we're lucky." Evelyn turned to her. 3 minutes might be all we need. Are the launch platforms in position? "Yes," Elena confirmed. "The satellites are aligned, and the submarines are within striking range." Colonel Marcus Rayner stepped forward, his expression grim. "If this works, we'll disable their shields temporarily. But it's a gamble. If the EMP doesn't take out their weapon systems as well." "It's a risk we'll take," Evelyn interrupted. "We didn't get here by playing it safe. If they think we're just going to roll over and accept their demands, they're in for a rude awakening." Belina hesitated. "Commander, there's one more thing. The EMP. It might cause collateral damage. Earth's systems could be affected too. Communications, power grids, even satellites." Evelyn nodded. "Noted. But if we lose power, we'll adapt. If we lose our freedom, we'll never recover." The room fell silent as the weight of her words sank in. Evelyn stepped forward. Activating the global comms channel, her image was broadcast to every military installation, every research facility, and every ship in Earth's fleet. "Today, we face an enemy unlike any other," she began, her voice resonating with authority. "They see us as primitive, as unworthy. But they've underestimated the resilience of the human spirit. We may not have their technology, but we have something far more powerful, our determination to stand as free people. Let's show them what it means to be human." The first move. "Fire the EMP," Evelyn ordered. High above the Pacific Ocean, a specially modified satellite hummed to life. Designed in secret and assembled with the combined efforts of the world's greatest minds, the device unleashed an electromagnetic pulse, unlike anything humanity had ever attempted. A wave of invisible energy surged outward, reaching the alien ship in seconds. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the alien vessel flickered. Its lights dimmed, and the shimmering aura of its shields vanished. In the command center, a cheer erupted, but Evelyn raised her hand to silence it. 3 minutes, she reminded them. Send in the strike team. On Earth's surface, the Thunderstrike, a state-of-the-art stealth bomber, took to the skies. Piloted by Captain Zara Lennox, a decorated Air Force veteran, the Thunderstrike carried Earth's first experimental anti-alien weapon, a high-yield plasma warhead reverse-engineered from alien artifacts. "Thunderstrike, you're clear for launch," the comms officer confirmed. "Understood," Zara replied, her voice steady despite the monumental task ahead. She guided the aircraft into the atmosphere, its cloaking systems rendering it nearly invisible. As she approached the alien vessel, she marveled at its sheer size and intricate design. Control visual on target. Approaching drop zone. In the command center, Evelyn and her team watched the live feed from Zara's cockpit. The alien ship, now stripped of its shields, loomed larger with every second. "Steady, Thunderstrike," Evelyn said. "Wait for the optimal window." The alien vessel began to stir. Lights flickered back to life, and panels along its hull shifted, revealing weapon ports. Their systems were rebooting faster than expected. "They're recovering," Colonel Rayner warned. "We're running out of time." "Captain Lennox," Evelyn called. "You're clear to engage." Zora pressed the release, and the plasma warhead dropped from the Thunderstrike's undercarriage. It streaked through the atmosphere, leaving a trail of light as it accelerated toward its target. The retaliation. The warhead struck the alien ship with devastating force. A massive explosion rippled across its surface, sending shockwaves through the atmosphere. For a brief moment, it seemed as though the impossible had been achieved. The ship wavered, its hull scorched and fractured. But then, a low, resonating hum filled the air, a sound that seemed to emanate from the ship itself. In the command center, Dr. Torres's face paled. "That's not good." The alien vessel retaliated. A beam of concentrated energy erupted from its lower hull, slicing through the atmosphere and striking a military installation in the Pacific. The blast vaporized the base in an instant, leaving nothing but a smoldering crater. Evelyn slammed her fist on the console. "Damn it. Get those defenses online. Prepare for countermeasures." Across the globe, Earth's forces scrambled to respond. Anti-aircraft systems locked onto the alien ship, launching a barrage of missiles and railgun fire. The alien vessel, still weakened from the EMP, struggled to maintain its defenses. Explosions peppered its hull as Earth's weapons found their mark. The unexpected advantage. As the battle raged, a surprising development unfolded. The alien ship's response became increasingly erratic. Its energy beams fired sporadically, and its movements grew sluggish. In the command center, Elena's eyes widened as she analyzed the data. "Commander, look at this," she said, pointing to the screen. "Their systems are struggling to adapt. The EMP did more damage than we thought. Their technology isn't as flexible as ours. It's designed for stability, not rapid recovery." Evelyn seized on the opportunity. "If they're struggling, we need to push harder. Focus all firepower on their primary engines. If we can disable their mobility, we'll have the upper hand." A desperate move. Earth's forces rallied, their attacks coordinated and relentless. Missiles and drones targeted the alien ship's engines, while ground-based railguns unleashed continuous barrages. Slowly but surely, the massive vessel began to falter. Its once imposing form now wavered, smoke and debris trailing from its battered hull. In orbit, Captain Zara Lennox circled back for another pass. Her Thunderstrike had sustained damage from the ship's retaliation, but she refused to retreat. "Control, requesting permission for a second strike." "Negative, Thunderstrike," Evelyn replied. "You've done your part. Return to base." "With respect, Commander," Zara said, her voice defiant. "I'm not leaving until that thing is down." Evelyn hesitated, then gave a curt nod. "Permission granted. Make it count." Zara accelerated toward the alien ship, her damaged aircraft shuddering under the strain. As she approached, she aimed for a vulnerable section of the ship's hull, where the engines had been exposed. She unleashed a barrage of plasma rounds, each shot striking with pinpoint accuracy. The alien vessel shuddered violently, its engines erupting in a final explosion. For a moment, it seemed to hang in the sky, defeated. Then, with a deafening roar, the ship began to descend, crashing into the Atlantic Ocean, with a massive plume of water and steam. The aftermath. Cheers erupted across the globe as the alien vessel fell, but Evelyn's expression remained grim. "This isn't over," she muttered. "That was just one ship. There will be more." Dr. Torres nodded. "They'll see this as an act of war." "Good," Evelyn said, her eyes blazing with determination. "Because we're ready for one." Humanity had struck its first blow against the Galactic Union, proving that Earth would not bow without a fight. The question now was whether their victory would inspire fear or respect. In the eyes of their otherworldly adversaries, the battle for Earth's future was far from over. The Union strikes back. The wreckage of the alien vessel smoldered in the Atlantic Ocean, its once mighty form now a mangled silhouette against the morning horizon. Across Earth, cheers erupted as news spread of humanity's victory. But beneath the surface of celebration, a cold reality began to set in. This was only the beginning. The Galactic Union would not take this loss lightly. In the command center, Commander Evelyn Harper stood at the edge of the operations floor, her sharp gaze fixed on the holographic display. It showed Earth's orbital perimeter and the faint signatures of approaching ships. The victory had been hard-won, but Evelyn knew the Union's response was already on its way. "How long until the reinforcements arrive?" she asked, her voice cutting through the din of activity. Lieutenant Nathan Cho, his face pale with tension, replied, "Our sensors indicate a fleet of at least 50 vessels. They'll be in range within 48 hours." The room fell silent. 50 ships. The alien vessel they had just defeated had nearly pushed humanity to its limits. Evelyn clenched her fists, her mind racing. The hidden hand. Dr. Elena Torres burst into the command center, carrying a data pad with urgent updates. Her face was a mixture of excitement and apprehension. "Commander, we've been analyzing the wreckage from the alien vessel," Elena began, placing the pad on the central table. "There's something you need to see." The holographic display shifted to show intricate scans of alien technology retrieved from the downed ship. Elena pointed to a section of the diagram, her voice trembling with urgency. "This is their communications array. It's how they were coordinating with the rest of their fleet. But here's the twist. It's not just a transmitter. It's also a receiver for real-time fleet updates. We intercepted a data burst just before the ship went down." Evelyn's eyes narrowed. "What did we intercept?" Elena hesitated. "The Union fleet isn't just coming to retaliate. They're bringing something much worse, a planet cracker." The room erupted into shocked murmurs. Colonel Marcus Rayner stepped forward, his expression grim. "A planet cracker? Are you certain?" Elena nodded. "The intercepted data shows a weapon capable of unleashing catastrophic energy. If deployed, it could obliterate Earth's surface entirely." Evelyn's voice hardened. "Then we have 48 hours to stop it. What's our plan?" The call for unity. The Global Leadership Council reconvened in an emergency session, their holographic projections filling the command center. The atmosphere was heavy with tension as Evelyn addressed the assembly. "Ladies and gentlemen, the Galactic Union isn't just sending another fleet. They're sending a message. A planet cracker to make an example of us," she began, her voice steady but intense. "If we don't act decisively, Earth will be reduced to ash." Prime Minister Asha Patel spoke first, her tone resolute. "What are our options, Commander?" Evelyn gestured to Dr. Torres, who stepped forward. "We've identified a potential vulnerability in the Union's planet cracker. Its power source is immense, but it requires stabilization from smaller support ships. If we can disrupt those ships, the weapon will destabilize." President Luiz Ortega of Brazil frowned. "And how do we disrupt them? Their fleet vastly outnumbers ours." Evelyn took over. "We hit them before they hit us. We've been preparing for this moment. Our hidden fleets, reverse-engineered tech, and global coordination give us an edge they don't expect. But we'll need every resource, every soldier, and every mind working together. This isn't just a battle. It's survival. The leaders nodded in agreement. For the first time in history, Earth's nations stood completely united, their differences set aside in the face of a common enemy. Operation Nightfall. The code name for humanity's counterstrike was Operation Nightfall. It would be the largest coordinated offensive in human history. Evelyn and her team spent hours devising the strategy, combining Earth's strengths with the alien technology they had salvaged. At its core, the plan relied on three key elements. Disruption teams, elite squads equipped with stealth technology, would infiltrate the support ships, planting EMP charges to disable their stabilization systems. Decoy fleets, using cloaking devices, Earth's smaller ships would lure the Union fleet into a trap, forcing them into a narrower combat zone. The Hammer, Earth's orbital defense grid, now fully operational, would deliver the final blow by targeting the planet Cracker directly. In an underground hangar beneath the Rockies, Captain Zara Lennox prepared her squad. She had barely recovered from her last mission, but her resolve was unshaken. "All right, team," she said, addressing her crew. "This is it. We're the tip of the spear. Let's make it count." The fleet arrives. 48 hours later, the Galactic Union's fleet emerged from hyperspace like a swarm of locusts. 50 ships, each a technological marvel, filled the skies above Earth. At their center was the planet Cracker, a gargantuan vessel brimming with destructive potential. Its core glowed ominously, pulsing with the energy to destroy an entire planet. From the Union's command ship, Supreme Admiral Kalos watched Earth's surface with cold detachment. A veteran of countless campaigns, Kalos saw humanity as little more than a pest to be eradicated. "Activate the weapon," he ordered, his voice devoid of emotion. "Let them witness their end." The battle begins. Earth's forces struck first. The decoy fleets emerged from cloaked positions, firing volleys of missiles and plasma rounds. The Union fleet responded immediately, unleashing waves of energy weapons. Space became a chaotic battlefield, lit by the flashes of explosions and the glow of weapon discharges. In the chaos, Zara's team slipped past the front lines, their stealth ship evading detection. Inside the support ship, they moved quickly, planting EMP charges on critical systems. The alien crew, though advanced, was unprepared for the human speed and precision. "Charges set," Zara reported. "Detonating in 5, 4, 3. The EMP blasts rippled through the support ships, causing them to lose synchronization with the planet Cracker. On the Union's command ship, alarms blared. "Admiral Kalos, the stabilization network is failing," a technician reported. "Compensate immediately," Kalos snapped. But it was too late. The hammer falls. With the support ships disabled, the planet Cracker's core began to destabilize. Earth's orbital defense grid activated, targeting the weakened vessel. Thousands of satellites unleashed concentrated energy beams, striking the planet Cracker's core. On Earth's surface, people watched as the sky lit up with the brilliance of the counterattack. The planet Cracker erupted in a cataclysmic explosion, its energy core consuming the massive vessel in a fiery collapse. A new reckoning. As the remaining Union ships fled, humanity stood victorious, but the cost of survival was etched into the planet's memory. Evelyn Harper, battered but unbroken, addressed the world. "We proved today that humanity is not primitive, not weak. We are resilient, united, and capable of defying even the greatest odds. But this isn't over. The Union will regroup, and so must we." Across Earth, people began to rebuild, their victory bittersweet, but their resolve stronger than ever. The battle had been won, but the war for humanity's place in the galaxy had just begun. Seeds of resistance. The explosion of the planet Cracker marked a turning point in human history. For the first time, the Galactic Union's seemingly unshakable dominance had been challenged, and defeated. The wreckage of their mighty weapon now floated as silent debris in Earth's orbit, a grim reminder of the Union's failure. Across the globe, humanity celebrated its survival, but those in power knew the war was far from over. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in the heart of Earth's Advanced Defense Command Center, Commander Evelyn Harper stood before a room of exhausted but determined leaders. The victory had come at a cost. Many lives were lost, and Earth's remaining defenses were stretched thin. The Galactic Union would not simply retreat. This was the prelude to a larger storm. Evelyn addressed the group with her characteristic resolve. "We've bought ourselves time, but the Union won't forget this humiliation. Their retreat isn't defeat, it's a regrouping. We have to prepare for what comes next." Colonel Marcus Rayner nodded, his expression grim. "We've hurt them, but we've also painted a target on our backs. They'll come with more ships, stronger weapons, and a renewed determination to crush us." Dr. Elena Torres, still recovering from the sleepless nights spent decoding alien tech, leaned forward. "That's why we need to strike first. This can't just be a war of defense anymore. If we're going to survive, we have to go on the offensive." The room grew quiet. The thought of Earth taking the fight to the Galactic Union was as audacious as it was terrifying. But Evelyn's gaze hardened. "Elena's right," she said. "We can't sit here waiting for the next attack. We've shown we can fight, but now we need to show them we can lead. This isn't just about survival anymore. It's about proving that humanity deserves a place among the stars." A galactic divide. While Earth prepared for its next move, the Galactic Union found itself in turmoil. On the Union's central homeworld, Veleron Prime, the High Council convened in an emergency session. The chamber was vast and grand, its crystalline walls reflecting the cold light of countless stars. Seated in a semicircle were representatives from dozens of advanced civilizations, each one vying for control over the fractured discussion. At the center of the chamber stood Supreme Admiral Kalos, his pride wounded and his authority questioned. The failure of the planet Cracker had shaken the Union to its core. "This defeat is unacceptable," Kalos thundered, his voice echoing across the chamber. "Earth is a primitive world, yet they've managed to outmaneuver us twice. Their resilience is dangerous. If we don't act decisively, their defiance will inspire other species to rise against us." A slender figure rose from the Council's left side, its crystalline form shimmering under the light. Ambassador General of the Blue Star Consortium, one of the Union's oldest member species, spoke with measured calm. "Perhaps their resilience is not something to fear, but something to learn from," General said. "The humans have demonstrated ingenuity and unity under pressure, qualities the Union has long forgotten in its arrogance." Kalos sneered. "You suggest we negotiate with these primitives. I suggest we consider that our way of governance has grown stagnant," General replied. "Earth's victory has already sparked unrest in the outer colonies. If we crush them, we risk solidifying the rebellion. But if we offer them a place at the table, we may gain allies instead of enemies." The chamber erupted in heated debate, with factions splitting between those who sought annihilation and those who saw an opportunity for change. Allies in the shadows. Back on Earth, Evelyn received an unexpected transmission. The signal was faint and encrypted, originating from deep space. Dr. Torres and her team worked tirelessly to decode it. When the message finally came through, it wasn't what anyone expected. The holographic display revealed a figure unlike any Earth had seen before. It was tall and crystalline, its translucent body glowing faintly. Its voice resonated like a musical chime. "Greetings, Earth Command. I am General, Ambassador of the Blue Star Consortium. I come with an offer." The room fell silent. Evelyn stepped forward. "What kind of offer?" General's form flickered slightly as it continued. "Your defiance has not gone unnoticed. Many within the Union are impressed by your resolve. Some of us believe the Union's rule has grown tyrannical. If you are willing, we can provide intelligence and resources to aid your resistance." Evelyn's brow furrowed. "And why would you betray your own Union?" Because the Union is no longer what it was meant to be, Genel replied. It was created to foster cooperation among the stars. Now it enforces submission. Your victory has given hope to those of us who wish to see the Union reformed. Evelyn studied the alien figure carefully. The offer was tempting but came with risks. Trusting an outsider, especially one from the Union, could backfire. If we accept your help, what's in it for you? Evelyn asked. The chance to rebuild the Union into something better, Genel said simply. The old ways have failed. Perhaps humanity can show us a new path. Forging a new path. With Genel's intelligence, Earth's forces began to uncover critical weaknesses in the Union structure. The Union's rule was maintained through fear, but that fear was fracturing. Outer colonies, long oppressed and taxed for resources, were beginning to question their loyalty. Earth's defiance had lit a spark, and whispers of rebellion began to spread. Evelyn saw an opportunity. We need to expand this fight, she told her team. If we can unite these colonies, we won't just be defending Earth. We'll be leading a revolution. Dr. Torres was already at work, using Genel's data to map out potential allies among the Union's member species. Many of these colonies have been isolated for centuries. They lack resources but not the will to fight. If we can supply them with weapons and tech, they'll stand with us. Colonel Rayner added, we'll need to establish supply routes and secure communication channels. If the Union catches wind of this, they'll shut it down before we can make progress. Evelyn nodded. We'll need stealth, strategy, and above all, trust. This isn't just about us anymore. We're fighting for every species that's ever been oppressed by the Union. The spark of revolution. Earth's first move was to reach out to the colonies closest to Union space. Using cloaked ships, human envoys made contact with rebel leaders, offering aid and a vision of a united front against tyranny. The colonies, inspired by Earth's defiance, began to rally. Small skirmishes erupted across Union territories as the rebellion gained momentum. On Veleron Prime, Supreme Admiral Kalos watched in fury as reports of insurrections flooded his command center. They've poisoned the colonies with their defiance, he snarled. If we don't crush Earth now, the entire Union will collapse. But within the council chamber, Ambassador Genel and others continued to push for negotiation. Crushing Earth won't stop the rebellion, Genel argued. It will only strengthen their resolve. We must adapt, or we will fall. The Galactic Union stood at a crossroads, its once unquestioned dominance now shaken. The seeds of resistance had been planted, and humanity stood at the heart of the growing storm. A reckoning approaches. As Earth worked to build its alliances, Evelyn Harper prepared for the inevitable counterstrike. The next battle wouldn't be fought on Earth's soil alone. It would span the stars, uniting disparate worlds in a fight for freedom. Standing before her team, Evelyn spoke with unwavering determination. This isn't just about Earth anymore. This is about every species that's ever been told they're too small, too weak, too primitive. Today, we fight not just for ourselves, but for the galaxy's future. Let's show them what humanity and its allies can achieve. The war for the galaxy had begun, and humanity, once dismissed as primitive, now stood as the vanguard of a revolution.